Okay.
Hey everyone, a journey deep into the heart. I'm Dr. Angelica Underwood, expert in human development and learning. My goal with these interviews are to lead through uncertain times, to give people hope, tools, and strategies on what to do in a time of crisis. And with me today, I have John Mueller, and he is an amazing man. He's a former Buddhist monk and counselor who helps people through meditation and shifting their consciousness and subconscious states from negative to positive, from bad to good. So thank you, John, for being here. It takes a heart and a person who's really passionate about helping people, because in a time of crisis, it's important that we come out into the community and we serve, and we do it with an open heart. And you are just that person that I see that has that open heart. So what do you have to say to people, and what does that mean, a journey deep into the heart?
Thank you. That's a great question. So, hello everyone. Thank you for watching. For me, that means mostly what happens when we meditate. So meditation is cool, but for me, guided meditation is even better. And I didn't really start, I started dabbling in meditation when I was maybe 22, 23 years old. And I was trying, and I was reading books, and I was trying again and more, and I had audio CDs, and it was all good. But it wasn't until I I started going to a Buddhist temple, and I went on retreat at a Buddhist temple. I was working a full-time job, but I just went in the morning, in the evening, before and after work, and weekends. As soon as I found it, I was just like there all the time. And then I moved in. But basically, by being guided in meditation in specific ways, we go deep into our heart. And that's been my journey, essentially. Like, externally, I'm not really different from anybody else. I'm pretty much the same as everyone. I'm very normal, and I'm not that. Some of my friends would tell you I'm not that normal, but I grew up very normal, and there's nothing that special. But I've gone in on a journey deep into my heart through guided meditation, and I noticed that is something that is unique, because when I meet a lot of people, I don't necessarily see the same degree of depth. And it's just a tool, right? I just practiced a tool that I had learned. I just was lucky enough to be really, really interested in doing that, and lucky enough that I had space in my life to do that. Lucky enough that I had enough suffering and bad things beforehand to make me really interested, right, in taking that journey. Because it for a lot of people, it takes suffering and feeling like your life is meaningless before you start asking deeper questions like, what does this all mean? Like, there's got to be more to life than this. I remember that question was very loud in my mind at a certain point. There's got to be more to life than this. And that was shortly before I found that Buddhist temple and moved in and all that stuff. So yeah, that's, for me, journey deep into the heart is all about guided meditation and learning eventually to guide ourselves in meditation, because that's when it can go really deeper. In the beginning, we just can't guide ourselves. It's like trying to ride a bike without training wheels. In the beginning, you just need more structure. You need more support. It's hard to explain for someone that doesn't have a lot of experience of that, but our mind needs structure and support on the inside. When we're trying to walk the steps of a meditation, it's quite subtle. It's much more subtle than yoga even. It's, yoga is cool, but like, meditation's invisible, right? There's something real happening, you just can't see it. So it is subtle.
Right.
And there are steps to take. And if you don't know how to focus, and if you don't know how to see that path and take the steps on purpose, you're just going to go into this blank zone where nothing's really happening, and it feels okay there, feels maybe pretty peaceful, but it's not real meditation, and it's not a journey deep into the heart. It's just abiding in a little, little pond of peace.
Right.
And that's not the same thing as what I'm talking about here.
So, somebody who has no experience like with meditation, a lot of people feel like that you have to shut all your thoughts that are coming through, and they feel that it's really difficult for them
Yeah.
to do that. Like, what tip can you give them for those that are like beginners? Like, how can they start that
It's a
practice?
great question.
Hmm.
So everything starts with a wish. So you can't do it if you don't want to. So you have to start wanting to meditate, and that is a specific process. You can start thinking about the benefits of meditation, how it's going to help your life. I mean, successful people say they meditate. It makes our mind more clear and gives us clarity, and we start to see opportunities that we didn't see before. But
Hmm.
those are not the main reasons to meditate. The main reason is that it makes your mind happy, right? It makes you happy, it makes you peaceful, it makes you calm. It gives you
Right.
that centered place within the chaos.
Hmm.
And that is that's something that a lot of people don't have. I do speak to a lot of people, and a lot of people get their mind gets all crazy sometimes. And how do
Hmm.
we not do that? How do we not get crazy when things are going crazy in our life?
Right.
Simply because things are going to go crazy. There's no way that life is going to be perfect. There's going to be epidemics sometimes. There's going to be things that happen that you don't want to happen. So what do you do? How can you stay calm? Well, you need to create that.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
when things are getting tough, that's not the time to decide. Okay, I'm going to build my practice. It is a good time to do it, but you need to have already built it, right?
Hmm.
When you
Hmm.
build a practice when things are going well, that's not what most people do. They wait till things go bad and then they become interested, and that's okay
Right.
to start. But like then things get better. Keep on going with your practice. So I guess what I'm saying is, developing the wish to meditate is the first step, and
Hmm.
please like take some time to think about that. If anyone's listening and you don't meditate, it's because you don't want to.
Hmm.
It's not
Hmm.
because you don't know how, and it's not because you don't have time. Everybody has time. If you don't want to know how much time you have to meditate, take out your phone,
Hmm.
use the screen time app that tells you how much time you spend looking at your phone,
Right.
divide that time in half.
Hmm.
Now you have a lot of time on your screen and you have a lot of time to meditate.
Hmm.
So that's what I would do. So basically, we all have time, we just don't want to. And how do you want to? Well, you think about the benefits. And the benefits are it makes you happy, it makes you peaceful, and that's really just the beginning.
Hmm.
You want to have a spiritual life, it involves learning how to develop positive states of mind. And that
Right.
in
Do
a
you do you do you teach people on how to meditate? Is there like a breathing technique that you would recommend so that they can focus on an object? What is it that you recommend for
yeah,
people?
so breathing is the best way to start. Breathing meditation is really it's very simple, right? The breath is not a complicated thing, and just by
Hmm.
focusing on it, the mind will start to feel peaceful. It'll start to feel calm. You'll start to relax. And meditation is never like a way of pushing away thoughts. We don't have to push away thoughts. We don't have to block out thoughts. We don't have to. Yeah, people say don't think of anything. I mean, that's when we meditate. What we're doing is finding one thing
Hmm.
and we're going to focus on one thing. So that's meditation. Meditation doesn't mean you focus on nothing, it means you focus on one thing. And by focusing on one thing, everything else disappears.
Hmm.
That's the kind of phenomena that when you learn that through your own experience, you will become a real meditator and you'll become sort of like addicted to meditation. When you focus on one thing, everything else disappears.
Hmm.
That's the experience that you have when you meditate. And so when you focus on your breath to start, it's a great thing to do.
Hmm.
Just find your breath. It's not very complicated. Mentally locate where your breath is. Place your mind on your breath.
Hmm.
And if your mind decides to go somewhere else, just bring it back. But the whole thing is by doing this, by bringing your mind back and by staying with it, you're creating like a container.
Hmm.
And a good analogy is not that we need to get so deep, but if you have a magnifying glass and you have a slide,
Mhm.
when you stay with your meditation object, it's like the slide has like a little holder that holds the slide in place, right? On a sorry, not a magnifying glass, what's it called? A microscope. On a
Okay.
microscope, there's these two little clips that hold the slide in place. And then
Uh-huh.
once the slide is in place, then you can zoom in.
Oh.
Okay. So the
Mhm.
same way you find your breath and then you stay with it, and your mind isn't going to zoom in at first.
Mhm.
Not how it works. You just try to stay with it, and over time, after we meditate again and again, we'll start to learn how to stay with it more. That's like getting the slides in place. And
Mhm.
then our mind will start to naturally zoom in on the thing we're focused on. And that's when we start to feel so peaceful, so calm, so relaxed. Everything else disappears.
Mhm.
And, and then, yeah, by learning to do that, we will unlock the power of our mind. And we can start to
Right.
do whatever we want with our mind. And suddenly, our mind becomes under our control, becomes our friend. And we can then apply it to lots of things. We can say, okay, I'm going to learn this today. And we put our mind there, and then we can zoom in on that and just do that.
Right.
Instead of being so distracted and where we can't accomplish anything, right? So, like getting
Right.
control of our mind is something that happens in meditation practice. And
Right.
I don't know any other way.
Well, one of the things that I've accomplished with meditation is that sometimes I'll go in with questions, and then sometimes it's not right away, but either in a couple of days or even that day, I will begin to have clarity. I could be in the shower, I could be walking, and then it's like, whoa, But it's when I clear the mind that I can begin to really see answers, right? So what do you think? Has that happened to you? Is this something that you recommend?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Yeah, questions, right? Go in with a question. That's one of the best ways to meditate is
Hmm.
asking questions, letting your mind think. We call that in Buddhism is called contemplation. And you just kind of yeah, it's hard to do that if your mind isn't still and peaceful though.
Hmm.
So you want to first get into that nice place and
Right.
then introduce something to your mind for it to chew on, for it to work with. Like it could be, uh, um, a piece of scripture if you're a religious
Mm.
person. It could be like a profound piece of poetry or philosophy, or it could be a question. It could be
Right.
a question that you have. Just bring in the question and let your mind just like go with it and figure it out and just see what comes, right? And
Hmm. Hmm.
hard to do that if your mind isn't clear.
Right. And one of the things, like, what can people do, like right now? I know it's we're talking about going within, going into the heart, but there's a lot of people that are losing their jobs. They're probably under lockdown, right? I know that we are in this area and a lot of places in the world. So I know that meditation is one of the strategies that you're recommending. Is there something else that we want to recommend people to do during this time right now?
Yeah. So I understand that things are tough and they're tough practically, right? There's practical concerns such as lockdown, such as losing a job possibly or losing some work. I know Tris who, she's out of work and even before she was out of work, um,
Hmm.
there was no business in the restaurant, so she wasn't making any money, right? She was making a quarter or less of what she was normally making, and so that's a big hit. So there's a practical concern. If you have a business, you're obviously losing insane amount of money if it's like a physical business that relies on people coming into you. So there's practical concerns, plus there's the mental concerns. There's fear, there's difficult emotions, paranoia, like the
Right.
look people give you when if you like I went to Target yesterday and like some people are cool, but some people are like they don't want to catch.
Hmm.
And it's that to me that disease of paranoia is worse than anything.
Mm.
A virus cannot divide humanity. In fact, the virus is bringing us all together in a sense. When's the last time you saw all of the entire world doing the same thing at the same time?
I know.
So connected, right? So the
So
virus
connected.
actually bringing people together,
Hmm.
but what is going to separate us is paranoia and fear, where we stop trusting each other. You look at another person as like an enemy or someone that you have to avoid. That potentially could rip apart humanity, and that's when everything crumbles. Is if that emotion catches wind. So we
Right.
don't want that to happen. What can we do? So here's what I would say, mostly about the practical stuff and about fear too. For me, because there's practical fears too, like what if I don't have money for rent? What if, that kind of stuff? What if I can't eat? You know?
Right.
And so for those concerns, there's a couple things. One thing that I love to do is figure out what is the worst case scenario. And
Mm-hmm.
so whatever this worst case scenario, okay, the worst case scenario is I'm late with rent for a couple weeks,
Mm-hmm.
right? And then someone puts an eviction notice on my door. That's actually the worst. And then,
Right.
or like, oh, I can't eat, so I'll have to like eat a lot less for a couple weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that bad. As long as you have some water, you'll be okay.
Mm-hmm.
And so the point is figure out the worst case scenario and then accept it. We have to actually embrace that worst case scenario because as long as we resist it, there's still something to be afraid of,
Mm. Absolutely.
right? If we accept it, it can pass. A lot of times we're scared of ghosts. We're scared of things that aren't real.
Mm-hmm.
Scared of the boogeyman in the closet that is not actually there. But if we don't look, and
Mm-hmm.
so we could spend our whole life afraid of something that isn't there because we're too afraid of looking at it. If
Right.
you look at it, then it can disappear if it's not actually there. So it takes some courage, but that's what I'm saying. Like face and embrace that worst case scenario
Mm-hmm.
that you're afraid of,
Right.
and then it becomes then the emotion of fear will disappear, and most likely, and you'll have a clear mind. And with a
Right.
clear mind,
Mm-hmm.
um,
So, and being able to have that awareness of, I'm afraid of this, I have paranoia, I have whatever is happening, whatever emotion is being in touch with it. Because I think that when they ignore that part, that self, that deep self, and they ignore it, we're not practicing self care and self love.
yeah.
But when we acknowledge that part and we're like, you know what, I'm afraid of whatever. And then, of course, facing your fears or facing the boogeyman or the monster and really figuring it out, is it really true for me? Right?
Yes, and that's the other piece. Is it true? Am I afraid of something that's completely illogical and irrational? And in many cases, it is, right? Like, in many cases, the things we're afraid of don't make any sense. And we need to take the time to examine. Does this make
Mm-hmm.
sense? Is this logical? Like, am I afraid of a zombie apocalypse right now?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. If I am, is that logical or not? And then you
Right.
can check to see. And either way, like the worst case scenario of everything is that we're going to die. And again, that's something that's guaranteed to happen to all of us in our life. So we better start accepting that right away. Because as soon as
Mm-hmm.
we accept that, what else is going to happen? How can you hurt me? Like, how can you hurt
Exactly.
me if I already know that I'm going to die and I'm okay with that? And the
Mm-hmm.
point is, we have to be okay with that because there's no way of escaping that fact. So it could happen because of zombies. It could happen because I run out of food. It could happen because whatever, but it's going to happen. And I just need to keep a clear, peaceful mind
Mm-hmm.
the whole process, and then I'll be okay. Because for me, I believe in future lives. I believe
Mm-hmm.
that we have lots of future lives, past lives and future lives, and the state of mind that we die with and the trajectory that we're on in our life is what's going to dictate where we go next. And I'm concerned about where I go next, right? So
Right. Mm-hmm.
yeah, so that's the reason that being peaceful is more important than staying alive.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Being
So
peaceful,
yeah. So I think those of you that are listening out there, what we're trying to touch base on right now, it's very important that we reach a lot of you and a lot of people, because our intention is to help people, to bring hope to people's homes and in their hearts, and help them with a tool, a strategy, an idea, so that if they are fearing or they're under stress or anxiety, that maybe this interview will help you or maybe a loved one or a friend. So we're asking that you share and you like and you comment below, because it might reach a fifth person within the link, and it's going to help that one person. And you're the person that's helping them, because right now we have John, and John was a monk, and he is talking about meditation, about going deep into the heart and really having that conscious awareness of your fears. And so I'm just going to pass it back on to him. So those of you that are watching, if you could do us a favor and comment on why you think it's important to go deep into the heart. Maybe one or two words, make it simple for yourself to find joy, to find peace, to find freedom. Why is it important to dive deep into the heart? If you can comment, we would appreciate that. John?
Yeah, and you can just also tell us if you want to go deep into your heart. Is that something that sounds like you want to do? Like, would you love to learn how to do that? And if it's interesting to you to go deep into your heart in whatever way,
Right. Yeah.
That into the comments.
Yeah. So give us some hearts, give us some thumbs up if you have the experience of going into the heart, or you would like to learn, So go ahead, John.
No, I was going to say that one of the things that helped me the most in my life is connected to a purpose in life. Meditation is a good thing. It's a tool, but we're not all ready for that, right? And we're not all in that place where we're going to develop a deep meditation practice. Way, there's more to do. There's more to do than meditate. Meditation is one thing, and there's a lot that can be done in meditation, but there's a lot that we have to do while we're not meditating. And for me, connecting, aligning with a higher purpose is one thing that's helped me a lot. And I feel like it carries me in all my activities.
Right. So. And I think that people right now, because a lot of us are in lockdown, a lot of us are in quarantine, so we're going to have that opportunity to rewrite our story, to really consciously think, is this who I want to continue being? Or we could rewrite our story into something else, right? Because a lot of things are going to change. I really expect that this virus is not going to last forever, but things will have to change. Don't you think that, John? What do you think?
I'm not sure. To be honest, I have no idea what's going to happen next. I really have no clue. Yeah, things are changing. That's obvious. The big changes. I think people are probably changing how they structure their life. They're asking bigger questions. Maybe I'm assuming that a lot of people are uncomfortable. Having to spend so much time at home and away from what they normally like to do. Exactly. I would also guess that a lot of people are going to be glued to their technology, and that's a way of distracting themselves. If that's the case, they won't be finding these bigger answers or bigger questions. But if we do give ourselves that space to rest and reflect, then we'll probably change the direction of our life to some degree, even if it's just a little pivot. Decide to change something about our life. Maybe it's I'm going to have an online business instead of an in-person business, or I'm going to introduce an online component to my business. Maybe it's I need to learn to love and appreciate my family because I might get stuck with them someday. Or maybe it's maybe this could be a little shift in direction that somebody takes, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing.
Right. And one of the things that John is doing right now in his community, and I think that as leaders, we have to lead others to take responsibility to allow that leader to come out and create a lot of communities so that people that are stuck at home and they feel like they might be alone or they might not, but they're looking for communities, they're looking for solutions, they're looking for ideas and strategies. John has a community right now and he has a summit happening, right, John, where there's a lot of healing modalities happening in his groups. And I'm going to let him talk about it a little bit for those of you that want to connect with him?
Okay, yeah. So there's a global healing summit going on right now. We just started the other day. This came as an idea from someone that I admire. He was doing something similar, and I'm just like, let's do an online global summit. So I just started asking, does anybody want to contribute to that? Would anybody like to be a participant? And that's how we started talking again. I think because you were in one of my groups, and anyway, yeah, I just reached out to all these healers and coaches and experts and guides and people who can help other people, and said, would you like to be in a summit, because we're doing the summit and I think the world needs healing and coaching right now. And I got hundreds of responses, literally probably 600 responses from people who were at least interested in being a coach or a healer, and probably 150 or so have stepped up to actually take a role in that. But yeah, we have almost 1,000 people who are in the summit who are looking to receive healing and coaching, and basically, yeah, I think the world needs three things right now. It needs conscious connection and community. It needs healing that is like nonverbal, energetic, meditation, prayer. And it needs coaching, like mindset tools, tips, tricks, like the verbal kind of coaching. And so in the summit, we have all three. The whole summit is happening inside a Facebook group. So there's conscious connection and community. It's there's going to be, well, all the different people can do what they want. There's going to be people who do energetic healings and meditation and prayer and that kind of nonverbal energy work kind of stuff that is required right now. So people do that on their own in their own individual session. However, twice a day we're meeting on Zoom, and we're meeting as a group and doing the sessions together. So if anybody's interested, 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. every day, Eastern Standard Time, we're doing this group session, and we started that Sunday night, and they're going well. We're streaming them into the Facebook group. So
when is it going to end? I know it started Monday.
We just decided to extend it because it's we're creating the groundwork. We created a pretty good foundation now, and to end it so soon would be really silly. So we're gonna keep it going for probably 3 weeks, maybe a month.
Right. That's beautiful. Yeah. So for those of you that are looking for that conscious connection, continue connecting with John. You can also continue to connect with me. I'm interviewing other entrepreneurs and individuals who are thought leaders who are really connected from the heart, because they are delivering a beautiful message for you to help people that are under stress, that have uncertainties. I want to empower people through strategies, tools, ideas, something that's one of these leaders might say, like John, he's talking about meditation. He's talking about energy healing and connection. And we want you to feel that there's a community, that there are people out there, leaders helping you and supporting you. And if you are a leader, then connect with John if you want to participate in his summit, or connect with me. And I would love to interview you if you have some golden nuggets to share with the world, because people need you right now. And they need to know that, okay, we're going through a crisis, but there might be some strategies, some ways to really help the mindset energetically, to be able to balance ourselves, and emotionally to be able to really be in touch with those emotions, recognize them, and at the same time helping ourselves to shift, hopefully through meditation, like John was talking about. So if you have any comments, I just want to say hi to Lourdes, Andrea. I don't see the name on this other person, but everybody that's joining us, I want to say a strong hello to you and virtual hugs to you. And we're asking that you share our recording. And if you're just watching the replay, put #replay, ask a question, or even, I think one of the questions that John and I were asking is, do you do you have the experience of tapping into your heart, like going deep into the heart through meditation? If yes, then give us thumbs up, hearts, comment below. We would like to hear your comments, your questions, or concerns, and we're here for you. So anything else, John, that you want to share before we leave?
I'm just reading the Facebook comments. There's lots of people that are watching that were at least on Facebook Live watching. I think still somewhat people are on. Hello, everyone. I didn't get a chance to see all your comments, but thank you for watching.
Yeah.
Is there anything else? Not really. I mean, as I was saying before with Light Purpose, I learned through various ways, including with Deepak Chopra, about finding your purpose in life. And that is one thing that helped me a lot. And I do have a free resource if anybody is interested in that. It's a 16-page workbook that helps you find your purpose. It has 11 questions, and you just answer each question, and it guides you into not just finding your purpose, but like getting into the right mental space to find your purpose, then actually finding your purpose, and then anchoring it into the world through action, so that we're living it and embodying our purpose. So if you're interested in that, you can just comment and say, I want the purpose workbook or something like that, and we'll send it to you.
Yeah, and he will send it to you. So we really want to thank all of you for joining us and being engaged with us. So we hope that you comment, that you share, because there's a lot of people feeling a lot of uncertainty right now. And we want to bring hope. We want to energetically be there and support you. We both have a community. I have the Master Manifestor Lab, where I hold space for people to turn their dreams into reality. And John has a big summit taking place. It's probably going to last a month. So be in touch with him, because his work is energetic, energy work, as well as prayer, meditation, sound. There is a lot of sound healing. I think it was Monday or Sunday when I connected with you, and it was a beautiful experience. And if you haven't experienced something like this, you need to connect with John. So again, John, thank you very much for joining me today and sharing your amazing wisdom with the world.
Nice talking to you. Thank you.
Thank you. We want to say bye to everybody and virtual hugs.
See you later. Virtual hug. Okay.